We have a sad occasion, obviously, but we also have an occasion for celebrating the life of a person who is very dear to all of us. Mark is well known to many of us here and spent a lot of time living here. And he impressed us very much with his wonderful qualities. I don't want to say too much. I think probably first the family should have a chance to talk about it themselves. I would invite any of you, if you would like to come sit here, that would be wonderful. Then we could get it on the video. But if not, if you just want to stay where you are, that's fine as well.
Laura, Mark and I have lived together for, I think, 17 years, which seems amazing, but yeah. And he was his own guy, he did things his way. And I respected that, Yeah. We had a good life together. Our personalities are kind of parallel, you know what I mean? Like, we're both pretty independent, so we would kind of do our own thing and respect each other's space. He loved people. He was a great storyteller, and he had some pretty funny stories. Yeah. And I don't know. There's like a million things I could say. It's hard to bring them forth at this time, but he could be a lot of fun. And I'm gonna miss him. So that's me. And him. Thank you.
So I'm Barb. I'm Laura's sister, and Mark would be my brother-in-law. And I just adore Mark. He does have the best stories, and just he loved life. What I really admired about Mark was that he was really into stuff. Like, he was into his motorcycles and we would go for rides whenever I come visit, so that was the extra added bonus. And he was into his shop now and the telescopes. I know he was into that. So he's very passionate about his hobbies and the things that he was into, and always a joy to hear him talk about all those different things. And I know my husband's really going to miss him too. He couldn't be here, but those two are kindred spirits, and just he was just a really great guy. As Charlotte said, he was a cool dude. So we're really going to miss him and his compassion, and always happy to see you. And so that's it.
Hello, everyone. My name's Noel, and
I met Mark like 21, 22 years ago, right when he first moved here, and I was like 20, and I was working on the facilities team, and they were like, yeah, we got this new guy coming, you're gonna have to train him, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. I barely knew like how to use a hammer. And so then Mark shows up, he's like, Mark, and I'm like, oh my God, who is this guy? He's like such a character, you know? And little did I know how much like I've learned from him actually over, especially that like year that we worked together pretty often. And whenever we'd like fix a tent, or he'd be like, looks like it fucking grew there. Like, that's how you knew it looked good, because it looked like it grew there. And yeah, it was just really a special dude, and really, yeah, just such a funny, and you know, telling stories about the old days and this and that. You know, it's like, oh yeah, man, he'd been through some stuff, and it was so good to see him here, and then, you know, moved down the road and kept working here. So then when I would come back for visits and things, like always like first thing in the morning, all these guys would be drinking coffee and eating breakfast, and yeah, it was just such a kind of stable presence, even when I didn't, you know, live up here. So yeah, it's good. And you know, I was actually at the wood shop not that long ago. I bumped into Mark at the trading post. I was like, oh, come check out the house. He was showing me all his toys. I'm making these picnic tables. Yeah. So yeah, it was really sweet. It's just so, yeah, it's like, whoa, it's so sudden, you know. So I mean, I know how I feel. I can only imagine how you all feel. So yeah, it was just really a special guy, and a cool person to connect with, even, you know, for however long I was able to do that. So
Yeah, my name's Michael. So I've been here for a few years, and Mark was here when I got here. And a couple of years after I got here, I became the director. And Mark was just this reference point, you know, like everybody knows how much fun he was, and what great stories, and, you know, that booming voice. And, you know, there's two things in my memory that stand out. One is when there were people who were having problems, he had the clearest eyes. He knew what was going on. So, yeah, there were times where, you know, I found myself not knowing what to do. You know, there'd be someone who's really complicated and was struggling with something. And Mark could just call him. You know, he could just say, this is what's going on. And you can't do this. And you can do this. And this is going to work. And this is going to create more problems. And it was just so on the money. You know, and you could feel the integrity and the strength that comes with having faced difficult things in his own life. Yeah. So I'm so grateful for that. The other thing that stands out in my mind is every Friday morning. You'd hear, today is gas day. shouted on the radio, and it was just this like mark of the week. Excuse the pun. You know, it was such a bright spot. Like it was just Mark, you know, not trying to do anything, but just you'd hear this over the radio, and it didn't matter what kind of day it was. Everybody, you just hear it. You'd feel the smiles. You'd feel like life is going to go on. You know, Mark is calling out gas day. It was this rock. You know, that's what he is in my mind, in my heart. Just a rock. Sanity, joy, clarity, strength, integrity.
So we have a lot of nice shrines at Drala Mountain Center, and nearly all of them were made by Mark. Not only did he make all our shrines and design beautiful things, you know, but every year at Christmas time, we would have a gift exchange, and he would make a small shrine as a gift, you know, for our gift exchange, and that was the most sought after gift. It would always change hands as many times as we allowed it to, until some lucky person got Mark's shrine for the year. So he created beauty on this land. The other thing that, I don't know, somehow sticks in my mind about Mark is that on a snowy morning, I had a cabin that recently burned down up near the stupa. And on a snowy morning at 7 o'clock or 6:30, I would hear Mark out there with the plow. And it was just like so reassuring that, you know, you could always rely on Mark to be there with the plow. And, you know, I was still in bed. And I said, okay, today's going to work out okay. Mark's there plowing the roads. So, yeah, he was just in so many ways just a jewel person to have here.
I mean, it's a bummer, right? But I don't know what happened, but we were talking and I was just laughing because, first of all, he has that Ural. So he's a motorcycle guy, so what's up? But he had those tractors, these tractors from the 1940s. He loved those things. He would always get really annoyed when I would go to his wood shop. I'd stop by, you know, and but you know, he's not, he has to be like, what's up? And I would just hang around and like, he talked about his tractors from the 1940s. He bought a second one because he loved them so much. And then he would just talk about that for like an hour. And then he had this table saw from the 1940s that he loved. And the thing was like, it's like a bomb, you know, like you can't move that thing. I mean, it's just like when we could make stuff like that, and he loved it and for his business, which that's the other thing, he was blowing up at the end, man. I mean, he obviously found like someone to love, and he like was there. He did all that stuff, even after he survived the stuff early in his life. But then he was just so stoked about like the table saw, the tractor, the motorcycle, and like I would come over and it'd just feel like he's in the shop. And he'd be all grumpy with the New York accent. What are you doing, Belcher? Blah blah blah. And if I felt like he was too annoyed, I would leave. But I'd just go back and ask him a question about the tractor or whatever, and I was interested. But anyway, I know there's no point to that except for remembering him, and I just wanted to say that because he's awesome, and so was all of the way he related to his things. It wasn't just a thing. You know, and he made all this badass furniture and all the badass picnic tables that all these people were buying on the cutouts on the way over here. I was telling Joshua, I was like, you gotta look around, man. There's Yetis like all over town. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I just came over Manhattan, and it's like right on the side of the Potbelly. There's like the biggest one out there. It's like the back entrance. it's just like for the locals, they're like, what's up to the Yeti every time. So it's like, he's still, you know, he's affected. He had an imprint, man. And also he was like always cool to me when we lived here. And I don't know, he was always so easygoing. I grew up out here, but my family's from like Jersey and like New York and stuff, Pennsylvania. And he just reminded me of that back east thing. Cause like, you know, people have these stereotypes about, you know, it's faster, people are jerks in New York or whatever. And it's like, I just love how like he rocked it out here and was like more red feather than like anybody. And that's it. Sorry, that was a little discombobulated, but you know what I'm saying. It's all good. Oh, I almost forgot. Also, sorry, on the way over here on Manhattan, there's the huge double rainbow.
Oh, yeah.
And like I came up by Noel's house and it was like, you know how it was like right onto the land. It was just like, I'm looking at the like Elkhorn School and it's like I'm looking through the rainbow. And like, I don't know, it's never failed whenever someone moves on from the, you know, when I'm on the land to acknowledge it. It's like that, sorry, I'm just gonna say that shit happens like every time. And when it's like a llama or it was always like some crazy stuff like that, John, you know, and it's the same thing for Mark. And I'm not trying to project like anything onto him, but it was cool.
It was just 2 minutes ago.
Magnificent, huge rainbow.
I definitely just want to express my appreciation for Mark. Like,
Come have a seat.
yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't. He was such a good friend and just devoted to this place and this land and such a part of this place. And it just made me so happy to see him like every morning or whatever, bright and early, you know, like up and at him, and like I'm like, shit, I gotta keep up with that guy. Like, he's already like 5 coffees in and plowed half the land. And he's in the wood shop cutting things up, and yeah, so just such a dear friend, and you know, for some reason devotion kept coming up, and like his devotion to this place and to like the real heart of Shambhala, the goodness, the ordinary magic, and you know, his sense of humor was like, oh man, it just like saved the day so many times. You know, you keep getting so frustrated with your workload or whatever, and you know, hey man, don't worry about it, it's fine, I've been through this. You know, it's alright, we got this. It's okay. So I mean, there's really not much else I could say. It's just I loved him dearly, and it was always such a pleasure. And yeah, my family's from New York as well. My father's from Long Island and Manhattan, and so that quality and yeah, his no BS attitude, but like a lighthearted kind of just let's get it done and not make a big deal out of things, and but always showing up and always there when you needed him. So I just have such deep appreciation for him. So.
Yeah. You know, they even said, you know, when the Queen died, there was a rainbow over Windsor Palace. And, you know, I think we can call him. King Corwin. You know. He was always, like everyone says, such a solid human being. And I also had the sort of privilege of being his meditation instructor. So that's where you sort of meet with somebody about their sort of inner practice, and so. But he always was, like usually people are really have some kind of angst or some kind of angst about their practice or their mind or else they have this striving, of like getting more. And he had none of that. He was just like people are saying, just like a solid person, and it was just a joy. And he loved the tractor. He'd come and he'd put that box grader on the back of that old green tractor and he'd tool around and he'd get all our roads nice and smooth. So, yeah, he loved this place and he loved him. Yeah, I'm gonna miss him, and every once in a while he'd come back, and you see him in the lunchroom, and it's always a good human being. So, thank you, Mark. Happy journey.
Well, maybe that's a good segue into the next part of our celebration of Mark's life. So the first part being expressing our appreciation for Mark. And then acknowledging that he's on a journey. So, I suppose different people have different ideas about death, what happens at death. And for some people it's just like turning out a light, and it's just like it was there, it was gone. For Buddhists, it's a different approach. So there's not a notion that the mind does not die, the being does not die, the body dies, and the mind stream goes on and has other lives and has other experiences. And so from that point of view, Mark is having an experience now, and that experience can be a difficult one, obviously. Losing your body is not going to be fun for any of us, and I'm sure it's challenging for him. And we can help him. So that's the point of this liturgy that we're going to do, this ritual, is to help him to suggest an approach to him, in words, and to express our good wishes to him on his journey, and our willingness to let go of him, which is important. So we have this picture of Mark here, and at the end of this liturgy, we're going to burn that picture as a symbol of letting go of Mark, so that he can continue on, and perhaps we'll meet him in another life. We could aspire to meet him again. I certainly would like to see somebody as good as him again. So maybe could you hand out the liturgies?
You can just listen along if you'd like. You can read along,
Yeah.
or you can chime in.
Up to you.
So completely your choice if you want.
Thank you.
So I thought I could maybe translate a little bit of this, since there's a lot of mysterious things in this. So it's called Sukhavati chant. And then Sukhavati is not mentioned in the rest of the chant. But what is mentioned is Amitabha. Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha meaning infinite light, Buddha of infinite light. And Amitabha Buddha is famous among Buddhists and among other people for creating a pure land called Sukhavati, which is a place where it's a pure land, it's an enlightened place. You know, obviously this world is trying, but not quite enlightened. But Sukhavati is an enlightened place where people can be reborn who are not enlightened yet and can practice on the path in a very supportive environment. So basically this liturgy is about the wish that Mark could be reborn in a place like Sukhavati. So it begins with Hri. Hri is a seed syllable, it doesn't mean anything. It's the seed syllable of Amitabha Buddha. In the profundity and brilliance of Dharmakaya, Dharmakaya is the space of pure mind. So it's the most refined quality of our being. In the brilliance of Dharmakaya, the compassion of Avalokiteshvara arises. Avalokiteshvara is the bodhisattva of compassion. In the magnificent and victorious vision, we proclaim the jnana of Amitabha. Jnana is wisdom. So we're proclaiming the wisdom of Amitabha Buddha. You are in the state of simplicity and you are free from fetters. You have actually attained the liberation of enlightenment. Please look upon us, forgive us our confusion, forgive us that we have been misled by the samsaric world. Samsaric world is the confused world. I make offering to you, I rejoice in your virtues. I request you to remain in our world and continue to turn the wheel of Dharma. So the wheel is a symbol of the truth of things as they are. If we could see clearly and see how things really are, without any confusion, that's Dharma. Namo Amitabhaya Samaya Tishwam means homage to Amitabha, protect our best aspiration, Samaya, our best aspiration. So this is, kind of a message to Mark, to go with his best aspiration, which I don't think he has much doubt about that, but you could say it anyway. Please accept drinking water, flowers, incense, light, perfume, food, and music. So there's offerings for the shrine. I praise your magnificent wisdom and power. You can liberate all sentient beings with one glance of your prajna and upaya. Prajna is again wisdom, upaya is skillful action. I request you to liberate the sentient beings who have passed and departed from their physical lives. May they be released from their samsaric fetters and attain liberation at once. If not, may they attain a good human birth, which is free and well-favored. If that is not possible, may they be freed from the lower realms. So lower realms meaning, for instance, the animal realm. So better to be born as a human being than as an animal. I aspire to and venerate your vision and your vow so that this particular sentient being, Mark Corwin, and all other sentient beings may be liberated from the fetters and kleshas. Kleshas are confused emotions. In principle, kleshas are considered to be passion, grasping passion, aggression, anger, and ignorance. So those three. So they may begin to overcome their mental obstacles and begin to understand the notion of egolessness. So beginning to understand the wisdom of not trying to hold on to me all the time and to think of others, basically. That's the basic idea here. May they be free from limited ayatanas. Ayatanas are the sense perceptions. May they attain a state of liberation. May the merit of the Sangha provide eternal companionship for them. Sangha are the Buddhist community. May the blessings of the great teachers lead them on their journey. May their relatives and companions proceed with them on their journey. So that's all of us. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. And then as we chant that, I will burn the picture. And we will chant that until the burning is done. And there's a sense of release that happens at that point. So any questions? So the way we read this is we chant it. So it's kind of not like ordinary speech, but it's like kind of singing it on one note. Breathe in the profound and brilliant dark veins of Dharmakaya, the compassion of Avalokiteshvara arises. In the magnificent and victorious vision, we proclaim the jnana of Amitabha. You are in a state of simplicity and you are free from fetters. You have actually attained the liberation of enlightenment. Please look upon us, forgive us our confusion. Forgive us that we have been misled by the samsaric world. I make offerings to you, I rejoice in your virtues, but I request you to remain in our world, continue to turn the wheel of Dharma. Namo Amitabhaya Samaya Tishvam. Please accept drinking water, flowers, incense, light, perfume, food, and music. I praise your magnificent wisdom and power. You can liberate all sentient beings with one glance of your prajna and upaya. I request you to liberate the sentient beings who have passed and departed from their physical lives. May they be released from their samsaric fetters and attain liberation at once. If not, may they attain a good human birth which is free and well favored. If that is not possible, may they be freed from the lower realms. I aspire to and venerate your vision and your vows that this particular sentient being, Mark Corwin, and all other sentient beings may be liberated from the fetters and kleshas, so they may begin to overcome their mental obstacles and begin to understand the notion of egolessness. May they be free from limited ayatanas. May they attain a state of liberation. May the merit of the Sangha provide eternal companionship for them. May the blessings of the great teachers lead them on their journey. May their relatives and companions proceed with them on their journey. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. 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 Namo Amitabhaya Hari.
Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari. Namo Amitabhaya Hari.
Now we can just hold our intention in our minds, wishing Mark a good journey and same time letting go.